Dear waiting moms, welcome to another episode of Becoming Moms podcast. My name is Dr. Tien. I'm a pharmacist and a fertility coach, and I'm your host. After almost 2 years of my own trying to conceive journey with irregular cycles and insulin resistance, I can understand how challenging and lonely it is to be on this journey. And at the beginning of 2022, I was able to regulate my cycles and fall pregnant naturally, as well as improve my insulin resistance by lowering my A1C down to a normal range after only 6 weeks. I am now on a mission to help all of you waiting moms find a better, more balanced way to optimize your hormones and your body in order to increase your chances of conceiving without feeling like you have to be on any restrictive diet or crazy amount of medication or supplements. I know I don't want to do that, so I don't want you to have to go through that either. Okay, so let's get in today's episode. Welcome guys to another episode of Becoming Moms. As you guys are aware, we're doing a bunch of episodes with guest speakers just because I want you guys to have more of a perspective and resources from different fertility and PCOS professionals and providers, so you have more ways of helping you become a mom and make your dream of motherhood a reality in 2024. So today on our podcast, I have Lauren Eggleston. She's an Integrated Nutrition Health Coach, and we're actually going to be talking a little bit about herbal support for fertility and PCOS. So I'll give Lauren the floor now to kind of introduce herself, and then we'll start with our episode.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here. Like you mentioned, I'm Lauren. I am a certified integrative nutrition health coach, and I help women all over the world achieve pain-free periods, natural regular cycles after years of irregular cycles, really going through and walking through those PCOS symptoms and how to naturally reverse them without birth control, medication, and being on a ton of supplements. And so that is what I love to do, and that is my current position and job. And that is why I'm here on this podcast today, to talk to you all about how I do that, specifically herbal support as a main component in how I walk my clients through that.
Yeah, that's wonderful, Lauren. And throughout my own journey of PCOS and inconsistent period, and I'm a pharmacist, as most of you guys probably have heard by now. So my background is pretty much science-based. Like, I study medication, right? Like, throughout my whole career, like 7+ years being a retail pharmacist. But now I transitioned to a more natural way of doing things, because when I was going through my own infertility journey, medication was just calling to me. Like, it was just something I wanted to put on the back burner, even though I've been I dispense medication, especially like birth controls, to so many women throughout my career. And myself as well, I've been on birth control for over 10 years, like over a decade of my life. And after birth control, it wasn't working out, right? So going to nutrition in a more natural route was really what helped me conceive. So, but I didn't really focus a lot on herbs because I didn't really know much about it. And it's funny because my grandma, actually, I think, yeah, like Chinese medicine, there's a lot of herbs and things related to it. But I was always Western medication, like Western treatment. That was go medication, right? And with the background of like being in Asian culture, so herbs is not something that I'm not familiar with, but it's just something that I never really focused on. So can you share a little bit about your journey of like how you kind of found herbs as a medicine for your own journey, and how that helped you and your clients have a symptom-free?
Yeah, absolutely. So my journey started about 4 years ago. I also experienced irregular, absent, even long cycles, which was very rare for me. My whole life, I had grown up with very consistent, didn't miss a cycle. And then all of a sudden it seemed like it was out of the blue. I was just experiencing irregular cycles. And of course, I go to my doctor and they're like, well, everything looks normal, so I guess we'll just give you birth control. And at the time I was like, cool, it's gonna fix everything, like awesome. And then shortly after, I definitely found out the hard way that like, oh, that really doesn't solve the problem and it doesn't fix everything. And not only was I struggling with the irregular periods, but I was also struggling with just a host of symptoms: chronic acne, chronic UTIs, fatigue, bloating, digestive issues, migraines, to just top it all off. And I really just fell in love with the idea that herbs can help every single system of the body. And when I started to look into a natural healing route, not only was nutrition a main focus, and I don't want to put an aspect off of that, because nutrition truly should be the base, as well as supporting your nervous system. But herbs can be such a great supplemental tool to your nutrition. And it just supports that symptom directly. So, for example, for me, I understood through learning and through eventually getting my certification that a lot of my symptoms were coming from my adrenal glands. And I see this very, very often, and which doctors don't really talk about to their clients very much, is your adrenal glands control just about everything, and they're a very vital part of hormone balance. And for me, I came to the conclusion that my adrenals just tanked after years of anxiety, hormone balance. My adrenals were really just tanked. And so I started looking into herbs for my adrenals, like licorice root, things like passion flower, things like maca root, that would not only be supporting my adrenals, but then balancing my hormones in and of themselves. And so that's kind of my journey of why I started to fall in love with herbs, as well as now I incorporate them into my practice, because not only did they help me reverse my symptoms, but I see them every day support my clients in reversing their symptoms as well.
That's amazing. I honestly have no ideas that these herbs even exist, and I wouldn't even know where to begin to even like start implementing them in my own life or anything like that. They just seem such a complicated realm of practice. Do you feel like it's complicated, or you feel like you gotten used to it now, or something? It's Dr. Prom Lab here, interrupting your episode. I do have an announcement that I think will be super exciting and beneficial for you, especially if it doesn't cost anything, right? So I actually have a free Facebook community for waiting moms out there just like you. And this is where I provide a lot of extra additional free training in more in-depth details than I'm able to do here on the podcast. So we've actually had a training recently on insulin resistance, and I had a whole multiple ones on egg quality, what you actually need to be eating to improve your egg quality, things like that, like nutrition, what to eat, so much more too on there in this little community. And I do these training once a month in my free Facebook group that you can join that doesn't cost you anything, and you actually get to meet other waiting moms just like yourself to share the journey that you guys are on, and keeping each other supported, keeping each other accountable on doing all the things that will be so beneficial for you and your new baby, to help you really optimize your body and your hormones to be the perfect place for as a future home for your baby for the next 9 months, right? And these little trainings are designed to help you get pregnant even sooner than most people who wouldn't have access to these trainings, right? So when you enter the community, make sure though you answer my question before joining I have a lot of people trying to join but don't answer any of my questions. I decline them immediately because I actually want this community to be exclusive for people who are serious about their condition, about their health, and about their trying to conceive journey. I want to be able to tailor this group into what would be the best for you. So these questions are meant to help me help you even more. So if you answer them and you'll get in immediately, right? It just shows me that you are serious about this journey and you're serious about your health and you're just not here to you're not just here to look at information, but you're here to actually ready to learn and you're ready to start that next chapter of your life and starting your pregnancy journey instead of just waiting and waiting and waiting to see when it will be your turn, right? And I know this really overwhelming and lonely sometime on this journey. That's why I create this free community, and I really hope that you decide to join us. So I'll put the link to join my free Facebook community in the description of the podcast. So make sure you check that out, and I can't wait to see you in the community.
Yeah. Originally it was very overwhelming. I was like, oh my gosh, I need all of them right now. I need to understand everything that they do. Because you'll find a lot of the time in the herb community, it's not just like one herb does this. Your one herb will do so many different things. And so it was a little overwhelming for me to begin. But then before I started implementing it in my practice, I really started to narrow down and understand what herbs would be better for specific symptoms so that as soon as a symptom was mentioned, I was like, this would be the herb that I would recommend. And as I practiced that, it definitely got easier to recommend the herbal support for my clients based on their symptoms. And so I think it just comes with practice, comes with the knowledge, as well as almost forcing yourself to slow down and not get overwhelmed with it and know that like you're not going to be able to take every single herb that's good for this. So really go to the herb that you feel like you're just drawn to and kind of use your intuition and your gut feeling.
Honestly, the only herbs I know, because I see like so many Instagram posts about it for PCOS, I don't even know if this count as an herb, but I think it is because they would recommend like drink spearmint tea for
Yeah,
PCOS.
experiment tea is an herb. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So when I saw this post, I was like, spearmint tea, what is that going to do for your symptom? Talk to me about that. Like
Yeah,
convince me. What is this?
right. So spearmint tea is the benefits behind it is that it helps lower testosterone, which those with PCOS often struggle with high testosterone. And so spearmint tea would be an herb that can help lower that testosterone. And that's why it's widely recommended. Um, but I will say spearmint tea on its own does not taste that amazing. And although it is widely recommended, something that I have started to really notice and just want to also get out there is there are so many herbs that help lower testosterone. And if you're like, I cannot handle spearmint, that's okay. Let's work with something else. Because I think we often get into this, this is the only thing that's going to help me mentality when it's just simply not true. So yeah, that's kind of the deal with spearmint and why it's very widely pushed in the PCOS community. But there are definitely other options that help lower testosterone as well.
And this is a little bit off topic, but you just reminded me because you said that, one thing mentality, like just one thing will work for
Right.
your current symptom. It
Mhm.
just reminded me of this post I saw earlier today in a Facebook group. So somebody was asking um that she has PCOS, right? And then she'd been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, and her dietitian told her to start this diet plan. Um,
Mhm.
and then it has carbs in it, like sweet potatoes and all the things. So she had mentioned in her question, now I'm confused. I thought there's no carbs allowed in PCOS, right? So that's like the one thing, like the mentality that, this diet has to be this way only and nothing else will work. And then somebody answer, you definitely will need to ditch all carbs for PC. And I'm just like, oh no, I can't do this. This this is why everybody should just not stay in the Facebook group and take
Yeah.
strangers' advice, right? Like you should really seek help from a professional who knows what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, back to herbs. So I've done, well, not really that much research, but like a little dabble in herbs because there are a bunch that are recommended for fertility that I wanted to kind of get your perspective on them. So
Yeah.
one of them that I saw in my research was mentioned was red clover flowers. And they
Mm-hmm.
say that this is like um a very useful herb for establishing fertility. But does that have anything to do with PCOS or is that just the fertility herbs?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so red clover is pretty much recommended for everything, and it's because it's just that amazing of an herb. Red clover is one of those herbs that supports progesterone production, and when we're talking about fertility, we're talking about PCOS. Obviously, they go hand in hand here. At least in my practice, I'm sure in your practice, you see often low progesterone numbers,
Yeah.
right? And so progesterone is a necessary hormone needed for not only creating a safe space for baby, but also regulating cycles and making sure that the body is working optimally for conceiving. And so red clover is a great herb to boost those progesterone levels if we're seeing low progesterone levels, as well as supporting the body and removing toxins that could be hindering progesterone or hormone production in general.
Well, that's amazing. Yeah, because progesterone is definitely needed to grow those blood vessel,
Right.
in the endometrium for supporting fertility. So that's definitely something would be useful. And the
Mhm.
next one that I've noticed here, I think I'm pronouncing this right, nettle leaves? Is that
Yep.
the name? Okay. What is
Mhm.
that?
Yep. Yeah, so nettle leaf, there are a couple different variants. So you have nettle leaf, you have stinging nettle. Um, Nettle leaf is, I consider it like a multivitamin.
Mm,
It's extremely high in magnesium, calcium, your vitamins. Um, Often I see just nutrient deficiency when we're talking PCOS, right? Because if we want to get down to it, PCOS starts a lot of the time in your gut health and in your nutrition. And if you're not consuming the correct, I don't want to say correct foods, but you're not consuming the nutrients needed to be supporting your gut health and supporting your hormones, then we come to nutrient deficiency, and nettle leaf can really help bridge the gap between nutrient deficiency there. So I consider it a multivitamin. I always recommend it to my clients. If you're looking to get pregnant or if you are pregnant, I think nettle leaf is a great herb to incorporate into your day for all those added nutrients that you might be missing out on.
And I have a couple more, but I just thought of this because you're mentioning it being like a multivitamins and
Right.
vitamin deficiency. Are and I haven't looked into too much, right? So my question might be silly to you. What is like the data, I guess, behind these findings or like the ingredient inside the herbs or how do they check for that? I'm not really sure. If my
Mhm.
questions make any sense to you.
Hmm. Yeah, so let me make sure I'm understanding your question correctly. You're just wondering how we know this about these herbs.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, so I think so a lot of the time herbs herbal medicine has been around for centuries. This is nothing new.
Mhm.
And so a lot of the time we look at how it's been used and what ailments it's been used for. Um, and as our scientific abilities grow, we have the ability to research more in depth on the properties of these, just like food, right? How do we know what's in food and their properties in food? We're able to do the same thing with herbs,
Oh, okay.
utilizing advance in technology as well as historical uses for these herbs.
Yeah, I think the fact that it's been used for like centuries, hundreds of years, somehow does it scream all that technology science based to me. That's why there's like this like
Right.
resistance in in stepping into herbalism. And then I don't know why, but the word herbalism just sound like it's something else out there, like
Yeah.
another realm, right? I don't know what
Yeah.
it is. And even for me, when I was going through like switching over to more nutrition based instead of more
Mhm.
medication based for my fertility journey, it took me probably at least a year to wrap my head around that medication can't solve everything and that
Yeah.
food is really actually the source of healing and creation, creator of actually new beginnings and just solving everything, right? So that's like right now where I'm at with herbs. I'm like trying to
Mhm.
wrap my head around it. So I'm just
Yeah.
letting you know, and everybody who's listening, if you feel like we're talking woo-woo things, we're trying to understand it and also
Mhm.
giving you like the best possible answer to our fertility and PCOS symptoms. Okay.
Right. Well, let me tell you something. I have something interesting to say before we move on to the next question is um in research labs, right? So where do we get medication? A lot of your medications do come from herbs in a way that they look at the herbs, they understand the medicinal properties of these herbs, and then they synthetically make them in a lab and turn them into medication that, are very well known. Sleep medications, for example, have been derived from valerian root, which is helpful with sleep, right? But the way that it's changed the actual herb is because now they recreate it in a synthetic and a fake form, which is not compatible to your body. And that's why this medication can be more harmful than herbal support.
Definitely makes sense. A lot of medication come from plants, so
Right.
you're correct,
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
That helps with my
Yeah, wrapping your
mentality
head around.
for
Yeah.
sure. Okay, so the next herb that was on my list that's really good for fertility was red raspberry leaves.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Yeah, what do we know about that?
Yeah, so red raspberry leaf is probably one of the most common herbs that you'll hear people say, even towards, the end of your pregnancy to start drinking red raspberry leaf because it supports labor. It helps strengthen your uterus. So your uterus is actually responsible for pushing out baby, and so it strengthens those muscles to be able to have a smooth birth in that way. But it also is really amazing for supporting the whole reproductive system in general. It's great for balancing hormones. It's great for cleansing the reproductive system of unwanted hormones, maybe excess hormones. Red raspberry leaf is just really an all around great female fertility and health herb. It also comes along with it many vitamins and minerals as well.
That's really cool. Okay, the last one on here is false unicorn root.
Yes, false
Why are these
unicorn
names
root.
so interesting?
There are a couple different names for it. This one is probably the easiest to pronounce, to be honest. Some of the other names for it are a little bit harder, but false unicorn has been used previously for like ovarian cysts. So if you're someone who struggles with enlarged follicles, ovarian cysts, things like that, it can help relieve that as well as menstrual pain, menstrual cramps, and really helping balance out estrogen levels.
Hmm.
It's a great herb for that as well.
And if someone wanted to utilize, where do you what do you get these herbs? Because I know they're plants, right? Are we going out in the jungle, in the garden somewhere to pick plants?
Right. Oh
How do
my gosh, I'd
you get
love
them?
to. Yes, no, I would love to be someone who's able to do that, lives in a place that's available. But we do live in a world where a lot of things are available to us already, which is awesome. And I personally get my herbs in bulk.
Mm.
I make my own herbal blends. That's my personal favorite, just because as someone who's very knowledgeable about herbs, I think it's easier for me to do that. And I get my bulk herbs from a website called Mountain Rose Herbs. It's all organic herbs, wild crafted things like that. But if you're interested in getting like prepackaged, someone's already made blends for you, there are a lot of different resources, and I'm sure we could maybe link those in your podcast
Mhm.
description for where I would recommend to get some herbal blends already made up.
So once you purchase these, like say you get a blend, what do
Yeah.
you do with that? Is it like a fresh thing or is it a dry leaves? Is it
Mhm.
like what does it look like and how do you use it after you purchase
Right.
them?
Yeah, so often they're dried, but sometimes they can come in like a powder form, a powder formula, that you can either mix into smoothies, mix into just water, juice, etc. Take it that way. But then often they can be dried where you would make like tea with them. So you know how you
Okay.
buy tea from a store in a tea bag, those are dried herbs in that tea bag. These would just be called loose leaf, where you would make tea by steeping them, and then you would strain them out of the tea afterwards. That's my favorite. That's the one I personally recommend because I always like to tell my clients to like picture literal medicine like going down your throat and into your body when you're drinking tea. I always love that visual. But there's always options to get the powders. You know, you can get capsules, you can get tinctures, which is basically herbs that are steeped in alcohol or glycerin to really extract those properties in a very more potent form. So there's lots of different ways to get herbs into your body. And again, we can link those into this in the
Yeah,
description.
definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll link everything in the description so you guys make sure to check that out if you want to take a look at some of these websites to purchase your herbs. And then this is my pharmacist brain, okay? I don't know if you know the answer to this, but so I was thinking when you were talking about how picturing your body's receiving medication by drinking the tea. So
Mhm.
I'm like, oh, what's the like absorption rate of this
See?
herb through the
Yeah.
tea and how does it disperse throughout the body and all of that stuff. I don't know if let me know what you think of that, but that's just the pharmacist.
Yeah, no, that's okay, that's okay, and of course, I don't have, like, the, "Oh, it's a, you know, an 87% absorption rate," like, I don't have that statistic for you, but I will tell you that, just like juice, right, in the same way juice is easily absorbed by the gut because there's no digestion involved, tea is relatively the same way. All of those herbs and those medicinal properties that have been, um, extracted into the water is then easily absorbed by the gut because there's no digestion involved. And you have so many um, absorption points in your intestines that it doesn't take anything at all to just absorb that nutrition and really support your body in boosting immunity. I Another reason I love herbs is because it hypernourishes the body because it doesn't take digesting when you put it in tea form. Right, you don't have to break anything down. You're simply just drinking this liquid and your body absorbs it. And this is called hypernourishment, where when we have PCOS or irregular periods or hormone imbalance, we're in a state of um, depletion
Mm.
in one form or another. So this hypernourishment is extremely helpful in getting the body back up to supporting how it should be. It's detoxing optimally, it's balancing hormones optimally, that your gut is working optimally. And I love herbs for supporting that process.
That's really cool that I'm, trying to figure out herbs and wondering how this will all fit in fertility,
Mhm.
especially because there's
Mhm.
many, social media accounts for herbs just for fertility. And I think
Exactly.
one woman calls her herbs like baby dust in a bag. And I think
Yeah.
it's like a bag of herbs.
Yeah.
And I see it all over social media. So I'm wondering, I think those are probably the herbs that we're talking about, probably more. Do you have any other herbs that you would add to the list that we've already talked about for PCOS or fertility? We talked about, spearmint tea already, right? Or some other things that you really love?
Mhm. Yeah, so that's a good question because my brain, right, as someone who's in the holistic nutrition world and I really get to the root cause is like, well, oh my gosh, we could have so many different kinds of herbs to support fertility.
Hello, hello. It's Dr. Pramlab here interrupting your episode to let you know that I actually have a full training on how to regulate your cycle to increase your pregnancy chance in less than 6 months. So, this is a free training that I have created for you all to really focus on what you can do daily to help you improve your ovulation and insulin resistance if you have it. It actually will provide you with a no fail strategy to help you transform your relationship with your PCOS symptoms without any restrictive diet. A lot of the time I hear that P- patient with PCOS can feel super tired and have no energy, or insomnia, things like that. All of that really are based on your hormone imbalances, and we're going to go over that to figure out what hormone triggers you have in order for you to work with your body and not have to be on a restrictive diet. You're also actually going to get a step-by-step guide to regulate your ovulation and cycles. I know with PCOS, a lot of the time you do have an irregular cycle. I know for me, I would only get one cycle every 6 months. So even when I was trying to conceive, I wasn't ovulating. So I wasn't even trying at all, really. And I went from only having 2 cycles per year to actually having 6 to 8 cycles per year, which is pretty good for me. And we're going to go over exactly how I did that. And finally, we're going to touch on key changes that you can make so you can optimize your body and your hormones without having to take a ton of medication or supplements. I didn't take any medication or supplements while I was trying to conceive because I just felt like nutrition was a better and more natural way of doing things. And it really helped me a lot. And I know it can help you too. So maybe you are just starting out on your trying to conceive journey and you're just a bit confused on what exactly you need to do. Or if you've been on this journey for a while and you've tried everything under the sun just to get that big fat positive pregnancy test, but no matter what you do, you're not getting the result that you want, right? And actually, no matter where you are on your trying to conceive journey, right? All you want to do is to meet your baby and to have that family that you've always dreamed of. So, if you want to achieve this dream, you want to make this dream a reality, and you want access to this free training that I have for you, all you have to do is go to drpromlabwellnesscorner.com/free-training and go ahead and watch this amazing free training and let me know if you found this helpful at all for you. I like to know if I can make it even better for you in the future, or if you found that it was helpful now, let me know what you liked about it. And you can always just send me a message on social at Dr. Promlab Wellness Corner. Okay, well, let's get back into today's episode.
We could be supporting detox to remove toxins, and that's going to balance hormones. We could be supporting your hormones in general, your adrenals, right? All of those things. But I will say a couple herbs that I highly recommend for fertility that are very safe, general herbs that you don't necessarily have any precautions on. But of course, we can't prescribe anything. Talk to your doctor if you're ever skeptical. But herbs that really support your liver, because your liver is responsible for the removal of many of your excess hormones. So excess estrogens are filtered out through the liver, as well as toxins, endocrine disruptors from chemicals in our environment are filtered out through your liver. And a lot of those things can really stunt fertility because of their impact on hormones and the imbalancing properties that they bring. So supporting the liver can be easy as drinking dandelion root tea. That's an amazing one for your liver. Milk thistle is another amazing herb for your liver. And those two I would highly recommend just for anyone, even if you aren't necessarily ready to conceive quite yet, but you're just like wanting to promote health in your body because you'll get there soon. Those are some great herbs to incorporate.
And I know milk thistle is actually mentioned a lot in the pharmacy world. I think there's like pill version of those, right?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
or is that okay?
Uh-huh.
But
Uh-huh.
is your recommendation more of the loose leaf tea, milk thistle version?
Like I said, it can be loose leaf, but it can also be, capsulated. It can also be in a tincture form. It's really whatever you feel like is best for your lifestyle. If you're like, I don't really have time to drink tea, take a capsule, right? It's really whatever is best for you.
So they do make capsules for multiple herbs, not just the milk thistle?
Yep, yep. They encapsulate them. Often they're powders, but they
Okay.
also have tinctures as well, which you can easily just drop into some juice and then
Right.
take like a.
This is like a whole new world to me, so I'm sorry that I have so many questions. But
I love
um
talking about this stuff. I literally have I was called an herbal connoisseur the other day, and I was like, oh, okay.
Well, that's awesome, right? I wanted to leave this minutes to like kind of talk about your practice and how you've helped women. I know you work with private clients, but now you have products that you're selling.
Yeah.
And then you have this heal your period master class, like so many new and exciting things. Like talk to us about everything you're doing.
Yes, yes, absolutely. So I do, of course, have one-on-one clients that I work with. This is an intensive 4-month program working exclusively with me. But I also created the Heal Your Period Masterclass. And the reason for this is because I understand that not everyone is in a financial position to work one-on-one with someone, even if they want to really badly, right? I know when I was working with someone, I had to stop due to finances, and that was really hard for me. I wanted to keep going when I was on my own healing journey. And so this Heal Your Period Masterclass really encompasses everything that I teach my clients in that 4-month intensive squished into an hour and a half masterclass. Really everything that in depth that I can explain to you, things that your doctor probably didn't tell you when you went in. We talk about myths about PCOS and hormones. We talk about gut health. We talk about how to support your nervous system and your stress levels, how to holistically, naturally heal your period and naturally support reversing PCOS symptoms. Like I said in this masterclass. And along with that is you receive a toolkit. And this is probably one of my favorite things is it's also available on Amazon if you want a physical copy to have a toolkit where we walk through, I have herbal charts in there. Okay, you're dealing with this symptom. This is a great herb for that. Okay, you're dealing with this symptom. This is a great food for that. So we go through charts that are in that toolkit. We go through stress regulation tools. It just really is a great pair the toolkit and the masterclass together. And like I said, that's for those who would love to get the support, but unfortunately just aren't in that financial position to work one-on-one intensively with someone. So that's the masterclass and then one-on-one intensive. And then I do have products now. So like I mentioned, when we were talking about your liver and it's responsible for removing and filtering toxins that your body comes in contact with, a lot of those toxins are within your own home. And it's often that we don't realize it. And I actually just made a post today that the average woman is exposed to 515 chemicals a day. And 168 of them are through simply just what they put on their body: beauty products, makeup, skincare, their shampoos, their lotions, all of these things, our air fresheners, our cleaning supplies. The majority of the conventional products out there are just filled with fragrances and harmful chemicals that do disrupt your hormones, and it's been shown to increase your risk of PCOS, irregular periods, etc. And of course, that then has an effect on fertility, right? So, the new LE Health Homemade is non-toxic products. Currently, I have skincare and some cleaning products on there, and of course, we're looking to grow and create even more. Just basically a one-stop shop where you're like, okay, I want to create a non-toxic home. I want to expose myself to less chemicals. I want to be able to support naturally balancing my hormones. And this is the place where I can go to know for sure that none of these products are going to harm my body on my hormone healing journey. So yeah, I'm really excited about that and being able to share my non-toxic products with just the world as they've helped me as well.
I need another episode of this non-toxic product. So we are doing that later. I'm gonna say next year sometimes because I want to talk more about non-toxic products. It's another
Mhm,
thing that I have like a wall resistant to switch
mhm,
over, like I have
mhm.
so much things I already spent money on. I need to use them on them,
Right,
right?
right,
But
right.
that's another talk for another day. But I'm gonna link everything, so your courses in your the Amazon toolkit, as well as I think your website probably, because if we link all the products, that might be a lot. So we'll probably just link the main
The website sounds good.
website
Yeah,
for the products in
yeah.
the description. So if you guys want to check out all of the things that Lauren is doing, I think she's super amazing for like creating these products for everybody to try, and the courses as well. So definitely take advantage of that. And we do have a giveaway actually going on.
We
Um,
do.
one of her products. So you'll just have to follow us on Instagram to know more about that. but it's gonna be coming soon before Christmas. So that's one of our gifts to you for the holidays, is to do one of these giveaway. But I thank you so much for joining me today and talking
Yeah.
to us about your knowledge, your vast knowledge of herbs for fertility as well as PCOS. And hopefully we've convinced somebody to embark
But
on
our friend.
herbalism journey, right? Do you have
Yes.
any last comment or anything for a listener going through fertility PCOS journey before we end?
Yeah, I think if you are someone who you're going through your journey currently, you are becoming a mom, right? You're on a journey to becoming a mom, journey to relieve your PCOS symptoms, to really give it time and trust the process. I think this is the biggest thing that I teach my clients, because it can be so easy to hyper focus on the fact that my goal isn't met, my goal isn't met, my goal isn't met, which can almost in turn create more internal pressure and stress on yourself. The more you trust the process, the more you allow yourself to let go of the expectations that you have on your body, the more your body is going to actually, in turn, create positive changes internally. I have seen many clients, when they start to just let go of the expectation they have on their body and their symptoms actually start to get better because they let go of that pressure that's creating a stress response in the body. So I just encourage you to, absolutely, your goals are possible. You can absolutely do this, and I'm excited for you on this journey. Just know to give it time, trust the process. You're not alone. You have so many resources, and enjoy the journey along the way. Don't forget to live while you're also on your healing journey.
That's a wonderful recommendation, and just reminded me because I'm creating Path to Moms, and one of the things that I put in one of my slide was to trust the process. Like, it's such an important component of embarking on this journey, even with professional help. So thank you so much, Lauren, for joining us, and I'm excited to talk to you more in the future about many other
Mhm.
things that you're doing as well. And thank you guys for listening to this episode today.
Awesome. We'll see you later, guys. Thank you so much.
Well, that's all for today's episode of Becoming Moms. I hope you really enjoyed it and you found it helpful. And if you resonate with everything that I talked about today and you feel like you want to learn more, you want to learn how to truly create sustainable changes that will ensure that you will be able to effortlessly fall pregnant and find freedom from dieting, freedom from killing yourself over at the gyms days in and days out, freedom from all those medication and supplements that you're currently on, so you can stop worrying about your future and stop worrying about if you ever become a mom and start enjoying your baby making journey again. Start living your dream as your reality, right? That probably is just going to have the family that you've always wanted, instead of constantly living fear and feel stuck on your trying to conceive journey. Then I really invite you to connect with me. I want to get to know you better and I want to show you how I can make all of that happen for you, right? We'll actually chat for 45 whole minutes where we'll hash out a strategic plan to help you see that regulating your cycles and ovulation isn't all that impossible anymore. But I'll only want you to reach out if you feel like you are 110% committed to your health and that you are ready to take massive action to make it happen, okay? Because we can both talk and talk until we're both blue in the face, but if you are not willing to invest in your health, not willing to invest in yourself, then nothing we can say can really change anything, right? So if you really think that is you and you are ready to see where your powerful self can really take you, then all you gotta do is go to drpromlatwellnesscorner.com/apply and book a free roadmap call with me. I am committed to you and your health, and I will work with you until you are successful. During the session, we will evaluate where your strengths are and what's currently working for you, and then we'll take a look at what we can improve upon, as well as mapping out a plan for you to get there. And then if you are a really good fit, I'll actually offer you a spot in my Becoming Moms community, where we will work further with you on how to create a more sustainable and less restrictive way so you can actually optimize your hormones in your body to increase your chances of conceiving without having to think about if you'll ovulate this month at all. Also, make sure to fill out the little short survey attached to our call before the session, so I have a bit of a background on you to better prepare and plan for our session to make sure that you will get the most out of your time with me. Okay, well, I can't wait to speak with you soon. Until then, sending you lots of baby dust.